Nihilist is the oldest song on the album and the most important song on the album. I feel like when I wrote that song, I was musically triggered somehow by something, and I thought that I am just going to write. I'm just going to write, and just whatever I do is going to be done and committed to without judgment. Because no matter what, when you write and record, you listen back and you say, all right, well, I'm going to do this, just that, maybe I should use this guitar, maybe I just... I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to go. And that is that song. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done. And, you know, like I said earlier, the two songs on this record, Nihilist and Nomad, have kind of lived together for a few years because I didn't know exactly when and where to put them out. You know, for a while I was very busy with the Winery Dogs, and so I thought that to release that song against the Winery Dogs backdrop would be very confusing. I did a record with Adrian Smith, and I thought, well, to release that song against that backdrop would be very confusing. And then now, at this point, well, this is my record, so there's nothing, it's not possible to be confused because it's me. It was perfect to put it out, and it's a perfect way to close the album. And, you know, it, for me, encompasses all the elements of who I am. You know, I love listening to jazz. You know, I love listening to Sonny Rollins and John Coltrane and George Benson, but I also love, you know, Iron Maiden, and I love soul singers like Stevie Wonder and all that sort of thing. So that's all in my DNA, and you know, that composition, I think, really is a really like a deep look behind the curtain. You know, where's Richie coming from? And it's lyrically simple. There's not a lot going on there lyrically. It's to the point, but it's a clear message. And musically, it's got a certain kind of, you know, freedom to it because of the way it was written. So it's the last song. I saved it for a couple of years to release it because, like I said, I didn't know where it should be, where it should live. But then in connection with this record, it's perfect where it lives. And, you know, one of the things I didn't say is when I realized that I was in the process of making a record, because I don't ever go out there thinking I'm making a record. I always look at it as I wrote a composition, I have a song, and then I let them pile up, and then I see where I'm at. With this, I really wanted to make a record in the old sense of the form. Like when I grew up, a lot of records that I liked, there was only a handful of songs on there, 8 songs, 9 songs. Some of the greatest records from my youth were 8, 9-song albums, you know. And so I was envisioning, like, if I were to put 4 songs on a side on a piece of vinyl, how do I want that to flow? What do I want that to look like? And then it started to come together where, you know, I thought, well, Nomad and Nihilist are kind of like bookends for me. And then whatever happens on top of that, you know, is what happens. So I finally found the perfect home, you know, for that song to be released, you know, a family, so to speak. And that's it. Those are all the songs on the album.